What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Matan from Team Elvich Gaming coming at you with a brand new deck profile, guys. We have here actually a very special guest and a very good friend of mine, the manager of Gopher Games. Shout outs of course to Gopher Games, shout outs to the owner Calvin, and shout outs of course to you, Benny. Guys, my boy here made top 48 at Toronto Regionals. Benny, congratulations. Any shout outs and anything you want to say before we begin?
Definitely shout out for Gopher Game, to Gopher Game and all of our community. We appreciate everybody, we love you guys. I'm gonna shout out my boy Dylan. Day one showed me the game, got me into it. Showed me how to basically teach the game to myself. And now that I've kind of got a good hand on the game since I started in October 2020, and I went to the first regionals. I went 5-3, I believe. I took away from the certain experience that I got from my first regional. It was ups and downs, and I definitely wanted to go with a better mindset and attitude this time coming. So right. Definitely when I came in this year and I entered with a round 1 loss, I still didn't let it deter me from being able to try to at least make top 48. I knew it took away my chances from being first, but yeah. At the end of the day, I just appreciate being able learn this game and have fun, meet new people and sure. Go from there.
All right, Benny, without further ado, show us the goo.
All right, here's the goo. So we're obviously playing shifter.deck,
Oh, of course.
So with a little bit of kicks and tweaks,
All right, sounds good.
Triple shifter.
Here, let's turn the cards around like this.
Yep. Triple shifter.
Yep.
Standard.
That card needs to get banned.
The normal bird ratio, so 3 Robina.
Yep.
We'll go 3 Egglins.
Yep.
1 Stree and 1 Talkin. Reason being why we don't play any extra names is because we're not very afraid of the tier matchup. For the most part, as long as you start off with certain consistency cards, you're able to kind of still play through the tiers, whether they go first or second. Because if you draw the shifter, they can't really play if you go first and you you draw the advent map, you're pretty good. Otherwise, I just don't see the necessary need to have the extra names, other than people being afraid of them being milled. But when you just think about it, there's other ways to recur them back using Ryza to bounce them back to the top deck, and right. Just little things when you kind of sit with yourself and think about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so standard 8 birds for the little guys.
What's your deck count?
42.
Cool.
So we play 1 bear statue, of course.
Yep.
Standard. We're running double Empin.
Yep.
Everybody knows skill drain. His a skill drain for special summon monsters in attack position. Also cuts your attack values and defense in half.
Yep.
And then also has a effect when he adds a Flunder Speller Trap that he has an additional normal summon of anything except opposed to the little birds of having to summon a winged beast after resolving their first effect.
Right.
Less restricts you, so you're able to kind of summon a Fossil Dyna off of it and stuff like that. I don't really play that, but yeah, just for other people that play different types of tech.
Have you ever thought about playing Empin at 1? Is that something you'd consider?
I've thought about it, considered it, but because of the fact that how much better it is just to have 2 in rotation, because being able to have 1, whether it's in your hand, field, or in the banish or in grave, it's just good to be able to be able to get 2 off to get off so many additional in summons, plus being able to add multiple Speller Trap, right. Because none of his effects are once per turn. Mm-hmm. Hard once per turn, they're soft, so obviously if you have another copy. Yep. But yeah, I've always kept my ratio with Empin at 2. I don't see a need to really put it down to 1.
Okay, fair enough.
Keeps the consistency.
For sure.
Ryza the Mega Monarch. Standard. Yep. Everyone knows what he does.
Yep.
1 Apex Avian.
Yep. Card's busted.
Very. And I also play 1 Snow.
Look at that stellar, people. Look how gorgeous that looks. It's okay. I'm gonna be copying this off of Benny soon.
And then for my Samorgs, I just run 2 of the Bird of Perfection.
Okay.
A lot of people run 3, but I feel like 2 is very consistent. Like, I don't really need to be able to resolve it twice.
Yep.
But I can, using Ryza, bouncing back the one that I send for cost back to the deck so that I can add this guy back to hand with the Ryza third effect to bounce him back to hand so that I have him in hand, the other one back in deck so that I can
so that way you can just pop off, right?
Yeah. And then I also like play like the field spell for the Samorgs and the Samorg Sky Battle Trap. Show you guys the goo a little bit later, but that's what this guy's here
Benny,
for.
what made you wanna play the Samorg package anyway?
At first, honestly, I've always been like a very pure flu player. When I heard about the Samorg package, I just thought like, like the birds have always been better, like pure, like just by themselves, like, they just don't have good tangent between like, other archetypes and other decks.
For sure.
Their stipulation is very like, restricted in certain aspects. So I'm like, I didn't think that there was gonna be any type of variant you'd be able to splash into the flow.
Yeah. But
then like coming across the Samorg package and then like just sitting with the cards and reading them for myself, then like, took away from like certain things that people are putting into their deck with like the full package, and most people are running like 3 you do have the package, run 3 Bird of Perfection and then just run the field spell. But I just thought that like like instead I'm just gonna run like 2, like the ratio is 4 anyways because it's 4 cards, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll just run 2 of the monsters, 1 field spell and 1
especially for more consistency, right?
Yeah, so it's like I don't really want to draw into 3 of those. If I do draw into 2 of them, it happens. I can still get off my combo because he still summons himself out as a free body either way.
Regardless,
even if I can't use his effect to send as cost to add the Speller Trap, it wouldn't matter because like it with hands like with only Eglin and him, like he fixes the hand, like makes it more consistent, makes you be able to access the big bird and actually be able to summon it. So it definitely does help.
Sounds good.
Alright, so we're gonna move on to the spells.
Alright.
We're main decking 2 D.
Oh, let's go. So explain why not 3, Benny.
Well, I'm definitely not trying to brick on it.
Oh, that's for sure.
The problem with our archetype is that like we're very well proven to brick ourselves.
Yeah.
So anything to reduce that chance of us bricking like our entire hand ourselves, like it's like try to reduce like the numbers of certain things and try to like keep it as consistent as we can with the variant that we want to play.
Yeah, for sure. It's good. Kurt's busted. Holy fuck.
I main 2 crossout designators.
All right, explain this.
So my theory with the crossout is that like number 1, like I hate the mirror match. It doesn't matter what deck it is, but I've learned to really hate the mirror match. And when it comes to this deck, like the mirror is absolute cancer. It's like almost as bad as Dark World.
Just imagine how I'm gonna feel when I have to play a mirror match.
Just having to play the mirror match, like I'm prepared to, be able to not only cross out like every single card that they technically play. Yeah. But I can also cross out the certain board breakers and certain things that they would use against me to hurt me. Right. I can cross out their map. I can cross out their town. I can cross out. That's my favorite target for the cross out. Is the like in the mirror match is for their Eglin, so that you basically put them on like like if you don't have a big bird in hand, you're not getting access to any big bird this turn. For sure, yeah. Like so, like yeah, like I like to kind of like theory in that type of sense because like. Especially with my round 9 opponent, I actually did cross out his Eglin. He ended up going second. He let me go first. I bricked a little bit, I think, but I ended up setting a cross out. And he started his turn. He placed map with priority. He activated map. I didn't have a response. Right. I let him resolve the map, and he basically revealed Eglin, banished Robina, normal summoned Eglin, went chain 1 Eglin, chain 2 Robina, and felt confident. And that's when I kind of chained my cross out and called Eglin, and obviously for that turn he wasn't able to access any big birds, and because of that, on the follow up I OTK'd him. That's good. Right. That's so. Good. That being said, like
That's
the
why
cross
crossout
out's
is
really,
so
really
busted.
good.
Holy.
And I also have a very funny side card to go with this as well, because you know how people start once they realize we're playing flow, like they side in certain cards, so
Yeah,
let's
for
not
sure.
let us play the game at all. So I play one continuous for the fluanderies.
Yep.
It's everyone should know what it does. If you don't, it's basically the text reads is like I can tribute cards you control. I can tribute one monster I control and one card you control every time I tribute basically during the turn. It's not once per turn. It doesn't activate. So, for example, like if I normal summon Eglin and I activate effect and you allow me to resolve the adding effect,
Right.
you will no longer have a window to respond to now me adding and like tributing your card away.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
So, it's really good. Very well tangems with my Snarl, being able to normal summon up to thrice per turn, basically, and basically just tributing away your whole field without you being able to respond.
Yeah. Have you ever considered bouncing this up to 2?
I have. The only thing and reason why I haven't bounced it up to 2 and I've always kept it at 1 is because I don't think I'm gonna get rid of Prod of Prosperity, and knowing that the confliction of not being able to draw the turn that I activate the Prosperity, I won't be able to fully utilize this card for the second effect for the Mulligan effect, because the turn that I activate the Prosperity, I can't even attempt to Mulligan.
That's true. Yes.
So
Okay.
I think of like little things like that, and just like think that like the drawback is going to be too much.
All right, now Benny. Speaking of pots, for the Fluanderies players that are just getting started with the deck, and they can't afford Prosperities, would you recommend Extravagance?
Honestly, I would not recommend Extravagance. Like, even I would, for me personally, I would rather run the dualities and like wing Requital.
Yeah.
Like even if it does cost you the 600 life points, we have other ways to now gain life, as in Advent and stuff like that. So
sure.
honestly, like you being able to like you control the 2 and like like which you usually control 2 like most of the time.
Yeah.
To be able to just draw 2 free cards.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
So honestly, like I just look at it that like even though you don't really like use your extra deck very much, the fact that the Extravagance can get rid of your Zeus package when you might need it is just something you don't want to like chance, which is like the main reason why people even play pot is on the Prosperity over the Extravagance, not only for the chance of you banishing the things that you need, but being able to like maximize on fixing the like fixing the consistency in their hand, like whatever cards they have left to try to fill the gap.
For sure.
I play one field spell for the Samorgs. Its effect is all wind winged beast monsters gain 300 attack and defense like while they're face up on the field. Its first effect is that I can reveal a level 5 or higher winged beast monster in my hand as cost. And for the rest of that turn, I can for the rest of the turn any tribute summon monster that costs more than 1 tribute is reduced to 1 tribute for the rest of the entire turn, even if this card leaves the field.
Oh wow, that's insane.
So like it's very cracked. It helps in instances where like say for instance I go map and let's say that they like on activation they pop my map. It doesn't matter how, like cosmic, like MST, Twin Twister, Omni Negate, doesn't matter, but they pop it and it fizzles. In that being done, I do play terraforming as well, but like just having access to the Samorg package, being able to normal summon any winged beast and then summon the Bird of Perfection to send another copy as cost to add this field spell after getting my map popped is just like crack, because then I control the winged beast, so I can normal summon immediately after this field spell's effect. Plus, I can tribute for 1 less the entire turn.
Makes sense.
So it's like if it fixes the hand.
In which case,
like,
meaning if you decide to summon Ryza, you just sacrifice 1 monster instead of 2.
Yeah, but for the most part, like many people that don't know that if you only use 1 monster for Ryza, even if it is a wind, you don't get that optional 3rd effect.
That's true.
So like when I do summon Ryza, more than half of the time, unless I'm going to kill you, like I go for that 2 tributes, like
Makes sense. Yes.
so I can guarantee to get that riser back to my hand.
For sure. Makes sense. Yeah.
Like yeah. So that's, as I said, the second effect, if I control a wing beast monster that is a wind, I can immediately normal summon off of the field spell effect. So it's somewhat like a map as well. It gives me access to being able to normal summon like without using my summon for turn, basically.
Yeah.
And even if I have exhausted my summon for turn, it gives me an additional, basically. Right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
So it definitely helps me fix hands and fix game states.
For sure.
And that extra 300 just like goes like that extra like mile, because like for instance like for the Ignisters, like when they can't get to the 6k body and they only get to 3k, and Eglin's only 2700. So
sense, yeah.
Being able to get to that 3k mark and crash into those bodies like the Arrival and like Methmec Final Sigma, it's like stuff like that, being able to literally just crash into it, get rid of the problem, and being able to recur back mining. All right,
Makes sense. Yeah.
so
for sure.
definitely helps. I play 1 terraforming.
Yep.
It is an ulti. What's it called?
That's ulti.
I definitely play this because like showing you like the tangent between like my 2 field spells. Like if I can't get to the other certain aspects or whatever, like it just helps for me to be able to obviously get to the field spell that I need at the time.
Yeah. For sure.
Standard 3 maps.
Of course. The card that starts your combo.
I'm still trying to get 2 more Euro printings, but other than that, like maps, amazing card. Dodges Ash, you know, like Bell.
This one's a Euro one,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's nice.
So yeah, like everybody knows what this does. Like it's cancer. You never really want
pretty
to play
much,
into it. But this card's pretty cracked.
Yeah.
I this is the card that made me like solidify like birds are just always gonna be forever.
And
like,
the card
my
that's about like 50-60 bucks each right now.
So honestly, I bought the birds when they first came out, their debut, and when I used to play it, we used to get absolutely decimated because of the fact that we just got hit by so many different things. Like all we had was the Book of Moon to try to protect us, you know, and like everything just killed us. Like it was just
pretty much,
bro. Like we couldn't dodge at an efficient enough rate, right? So now that we have things like where we can basically like literally banish away the card for cost, so it 1000% resolves in a different area of the timing. There's no reason for us to not really get the resolutions that we're looking for.
Exactly.
Right?
And there's no need for Book of Moons either.
So on top of it being able to gain the extra 500 life, like I don't know why that's even there. It's just cracked. Like we just get to gain for free.
Pretty much,
like, and like it doesn't only add like the little birds, it adds the big birds also and the map. It adds like a Flandery's monster or the map. So I can also add like Empin or Snowl off of it as well. People don't really like think about those things halfway through like their combo lines or certain things like that, but it definitely helps. Plus it's a consistency card.
For sure.
We're playing 3 Pot of Dualities for consistency, obviously. It's a free card. We know that we don't really special summon, so just
where are the
being
ultis?
able to get that free.
Where are the ultis, Benny?
Just too expensive. Just trying to get like that free card. Most people don't really hit that card unless they know that like have you in a certain like game state where they know that you need that to go off. But most of the time, people just let it go because it's just too free.
Yeah.
3 Pot of Prosperities, of course. We're maxing out on
the nice expensive pots.
Still not Starlights, but we're trying to max out on consistency.
Mm-hmm. Would you ever get Starlights?
I definitely will. Slowly but surely. I'm definitely gonna upgrade this deck to max rarity when I have the chance.
Sounds good.
The only interruptions that I run, other than Shifter, which technically isn't necessarily an interruption, but it goes a long way, is all I run is 2 imperms.
Okay.
So
explain.
The reason being why is because like monsters like Kikalos, the cross for the heroes, like there's certain monsters that are so problematic that have multiple effects.
Right.
And you being able to like just imperm the one time and being able to stop all the effects like on their text basically is very broken just because of the fact that like for example with the hero line, like that cross, like if you imprint the cross like on
Cross
the first
Crusader.
effect, the cross
Right.
Crusader, you basically take away about like 3 or 4 different lines of play for them. So like they don't really have much to end on other than being able to like I guess extend a little bit further into like a wonder driver and like reset a mass change or a poly or something.
Right.
Other than that, like you have a pretty strong like advantage over them just literally interrupting the one card.
Makes sense.
On top of it, it's the same way when it comes to the tier limits. Like if you're able to stop Kit Kalos in certain game states because of the fact that like she's able to either take or add like that tier limit card, it's very problematic, and being able to stop that is very, very good in this format.
Fair enough.
Also a great cross out target because people love to imprint the birds as well, right? So
Oh, yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
great there to be able to just completely stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we play One Dreaming Town. I've thought about bumping this card up to 2 because the only part of the effect that's once per turn is the banishing to Book of Moon.
Yeah.
So that being said, like I can activate 2 Dreaming Towns on my opponent's turn basically, and like get access to like normal summoning in their turn like off of like more than one trap. Right. The only thing is that I think that like it would maybe be a little slow. But at the same time, like I'm thinking that if I have 2 of these in the deck, it would increase the chances of drawing into it. So if I do draw into it, I can go for different like spells or traps, like like the continuous. I can go for like say if I don't have the map at that time, or
For sure.
say even like the advent to gain life if I need to, or even draw literally just adding a second copy of itself so I can trip out the opponent. They think I only have 1 lap access to their like.
Do you ever miss
something
the second copy during your matches?
No. I never really like miss it because I always recur it. Like I kind of always have access to this card because regardlessly like when it activates when it activates to do the booking effect, it makes it faster for you to recur it because it's now already banished, so you don't have to normal summon token to banish it. Normal summon Street to banish it. You just have to normal summon token to add it back.
Makes sense,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
So like just that being said, like it just makes it like that like one step like faster to like not have to exhaust extra cards.
Yeah, for sure.
And a part of the goo for the Samord package is Sky Battle. The text on it that is relevant is basically like wing beast monsters that I control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects or attacks except for the wing beast with the highest attack value. So the game state that I usually have is the end board of double Empin and barrier statue. So the stipulation of this card when I flip it on draw phase like restricts you to only be able to basically target or attack the Empins and not even be able to attempt to target or battle the barrier statue.
Makes sense, yeah.
So like there's no like imperms now no longer valid, and like like anything that targets. So now it's like they're gonna have to either Dark Ruler or Droplet. So once people catch on in a certain aspect and like start to basically like understand how to like get rid of this board, both of those targets are cross-outable.
Makes sense, yeah.
So
for sure.
now they're gonna have to like like either do the droplet and make sure that they discard a spell so I can't respond with the cross out, or it is gonna get crossed out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then for the Dark Ruler, it's just easy, you chain the cross out and then you can chain anything else that's on the field, right?
Yeah.
So
Have you ever thought about maining Dark Ruler?
I used to main Dark Ruler, but honestly, the way that I look at it, like nowadays, like most people are too skilled to like lose off of 1 board breaker or 2 board breakers. So like most of I don't really run any board breakers as you see like in the main.
Yeah.
I thrive off of like I guess beating my opponent like just with like sheer skill. Like I don't really like run any like lightning storms like like certain
sense,
like
yeah,
Geki,
for sure.
anything like that, because like I just think that like those blowout cards, even though they are good, like a good player will still play through that, and like you're just like like oh like maybe I should have had something else, like because like clearly like what I like didn't really have an effect, like
For sure.
like
Yeah.
like how like Ash is kind of like one of the best like hand traps, but like it's just kind of ineffective this format just because like even if you're ashing like the right target and stuff, like certain like decks are still
Especially
able to like,
Shizu
just
tier.
pop off like.
Yeah, especially Shizu tier, they can just play around Ash.
So it's just yeah.
Extra deck?
For the extra deck,
Let's just run through it because
it's nothing like really too special. Like I have the water and the wind because I can obviously summon them, like having access to both of those.
For sure.
The Phoenix, just in case like for whatever reason, like I need to get rid of something really problematic, like I don't know what could be on the field, but you know, like to just destroy us by the trap.
Yep.
These are pretty generic. I kind of have these as like just there somewhat as placeholders. I usually just use these to banish off my pot fodder.
Yep.
Unless I know that like I'm going up against like someone like for instance like dogmaticas that like make you dump like out of your extra deck, then like I'll like keep like certain targets that like, you know, if they're dumped, they'll get like, you know, additional effects.
For sure, yeah.
We're then running 2 Lyriquists, 2 Downward Magicians,
Yep.
and 2 Zeus.
Those nice Zeus's need to be mine very soon.
So the reason why we're running it at double the ratio is because like most of the time people that go up against the birds like know that most of them only run 1 line of Zeus. So if they stop the 1 line, they feel safe enough to know that they kind of like have the game in the bag. If they have like, I guess, zombie road or something like that's restricting the birds from being able to pop off.
Right.
So just being able to push that much further and like attempt to play again is just like it's just crap. Like especially because of the fact that like the way that the text on Zeus is that like you can if on Xyz battles that you can like slap one like some Xyz something like on top of it. That includes like your opponent's like. It includes another Zeus because I can attack with Zeus like on the follow up and slap another Zeus on top of my Zeus. Like,
Makes sense, yeah.
So it's just when you think about stuff like that or whatever, like it's like if you get that far and the game really goes that long, like you pretty much win at that point. Like
Pretty much, for sure. Now, Benny, have you ever brought out your Zeus before?
I definitely have. I had to bring it out on 2 players in the regionals.
Oh wow.
I ended up basically getting Zombie World.
Oh.
And I had map on field and like I had 1 bird like I had map on field, yeah. So I basically activated map, normal summoned a bird, didn't activate effect, normal summoned another bird, no effect, overlay into Nightingale, you know, attack, whiteboard.
Makes sense, yeah,
Right?
for sure.
So essentially like there is like certain like turn like times where you kind of have to go into Zeus because like the zombie world is on the field or something that's just so problematic that like your birds just cannot play.
Yeah.
So plus he's a 3,000 beater, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
that too. And also he's a free nuke to the
Yeah.
board, so why not?
so
Side
for
deck?
the sideboard, the standard 3 evenly.
That's so nice. For those of you new players that that need to get evenlies, just wait for the Trap Trick structure deck. They're coming out in it. They are getting another reprint.
Sure. The standard as well. 3 Feather Storms.
The card that
Game is just like broken. This card is just
retarded.
once Red Reboot got taken out of the game,
Equation?
like yeah, this card is just nuts. Once we flip this card, like we just know we win the game. Like you just
Instantly win.
scoop.
That's an instant win,
Like,
bro. Straight up, like.
So half the time, like when this card is honestly resolved, like it's just curtains. Like they
Yeah, no,
don't
that
even
card's
attempt
fucked.
to try to play.
Yeah, seriously.
I run 2 ashes in the side. The reason why I had the ashes in the side is because like I said, like there's certain targets, like for instance branded fusion,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes even the planet, like I don't know, like there's certain like things that like you not have to hit with an ash, but if timed right will like stop your opponent enough to not be able to have a certain end board. They're still gonna be able to continue to play.
Right.
But like now you're choosing what their end board is basically going to be.
Makes
right?
sense, yeah, for sure.
So, excuse me. That being said as well, like I obviously have the crossouts in the main as well, so we know that
that's
Ash hurts
excellent,
us,
yes.
so
For
it's
sure.
why it's there as well to be able to cross out the Ash without any problems, like no
Yeah.
affectations.
Where's the MARC ones?
I didn't put in my macro ones because I didn't want to play them, honestly.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I just didn't. I didn't bother.
For sure.
I was running 2 dogwoods. This card came really clutch in the mirror match. Oh, no, it wasn't the mirror match. It was sorry. It was in against the DDD. I went up against like the that DDD contract deck.
OG secrets.
I basically I bricked going second. Going into game 2, going second. Yeah, I bricked because he went first. He basically I went first. He basically I ended on a Empin and I didn't have barrier statue. I had a map. I didn't really have a set. I had the Dreaming Town set. He didn't want a normal summon because obviously it would have procced the map.
Yep.
So he ended up placing 2 scales into the pendulum zone, and then and then he went for pendulum summon for 2 from hand.
Right.
So like when he activated that, I chained the dogwood, and he ended up summoning 2 monsters, and one of them had 0 attack, the other one had 1200. By the end of main, like when he was gonna go into battle, by then I already had I believe 16,900 life points, because he like exceeds like
for sure.
He ended up basically running hitting me for it's like 24 or 3k or something like that, and then overlaid into Zeus. Basically, like, even though he did do that, like I ended up drawing into the evenly, so like just everything he did was like just like flawed, because like it just ended up just all getting cleared.
Yeah.
And he ended up keeping 1 set card. It was an imperm, and I ended up advent dodging it, so
that's good.
It was just completely irrelevant. Like he just got like crushed.
How many Shizu tiers did you have to face in this event?
I only played 2. I lost to 1, and I ended up flooring the other one 2-0.
Oh, okay, that's good.
It's because like basically I was able to establish the Windbearer statue, winning the dice roll going first.
Right.
And then going second, I drew into Shifter, and basically when I went second, because he went first. When I went second in that matchup, he basically attempted to go Halfness.
Right.
When I activated like one of my bird effects, and in the Halfness being activated, like he then he then tried to, I believe, do a fusion, even though like the cards were banished and not going to the grave. And like even if like he could have did it, like I would have been able to get the barrier statue out on the field like in mixed resolution.
Exactly.
So like it wouldn't have changed like the game state.
Yeah, for sure.
So
because also barrier statue screws over Ishizu tier. So that's another reason why I kind of like ran the dogwood, because of the fact that like knowing that I'm going up against like decks that are just gonna continuously like just summon like to oblivion, like just knowing that I can just gain whatever and maximize, and knowing that I can't like die that follow-up turn to like try to gain control of the board state. For sure.
Another card that I'm playing was 2 MSTs for the zombie world.
Okay, guys, comment down below if you guys have ever seen a Flunder player citing MST, because I have not. So this is insane. This is very spicy.
Like my theory with it, honestly, was like I didn't want to play the Cosmic. I didn't want to pay life points. I didn't want to play the Twister because I did not want to discard. Like,
damn right.
So like,
because I think with Twister, your birds don't get banished; they go straight to grave, right? With Twin Twister.
Yeah.
If you pitch them.
Like if I pitch them, they'll just go to grave. Yeah. They have to be face up to get banished.
Okay, so, that's a problem, yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I don't want to discard, even though I can recur it. I just don't want to.
And also, you don't feel like paying the 1,000 life points for Cosmics.
Yeah, like
you're just like, nah, Bunda.
I'm just gonna, MST. I can rely on the MST.
Makes sense.
I went pretty clutch. Like I ended up MSTing 1 zombie world, so it helped. I have 1 dark ruler in the side, just 1.
Okay, explain this. I gotta hear.
So the reason being why, like I said, like I don't really rely on the board breakers or like thing. I just play like like to beat my opponent with sheer skill.
Makes sense. Yeah.
The only reason that card is there is just because, like, if I happen to go second, I sided in, and I also sided in, like, I'm sorry, if I happen to go into game 2 or game 3, I sided in for a crossout target, and being able to just, like, disrupt my opponent's board, just a 1 card, like, you know, like, disruption. Just knowing that, like, I can basically cross it out, like, them trying to, like, you know, like, Dark Ruler my Empin barrier statue, like double Empin barrier statue board, with the Sky Battle, and just being able to use the Dark Ruler to basically like take that whole game, like board state away.
For sure.
I prefer to be able to put that in just so I can mainly cross it out.
Okay, sounds good.
Half of the time I don't even like draw it to resolve it. I just want it in the deck for the target.
That makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
Then another card that I decided to play because I don't like not being able to play the game, Zombie World.
There we go.
So obviously my theory, as you can see, is like I don't like to not be able to play the game. My job is to make sure that you don't play the game.
Pretty much.
So the only way for me to do that is to make sure that this card does not resolve. Right?
Fair enough.
So yeah, like my theory behind it was that basically any game going into game 2 or game 3, I would always have the Dark Ruler and the Zombie World basically in the deck to be able to cross out these targets.
Yeah, for sure.
So for whatever like situation that I ran into.
Has there been any games during the regionals that you had to side out to cross out?
No.
Oh no? Okay.
No. Every single game I kept in cross out. The only thing that I decided to side out at times was the Samort package.
Okay.
So that I could basically draw into like Featherstorm or Evenly.
Makes sense,
like
yeah,
that,
for sure.
but still have combo.
Yeah,
you know,
guaranteed.
And my last side deck option, side deck option was Air Hummingbird.
Oh my god.
So if you know what this guy does, he's pretty cracked. Like the reason being why it's just it's for time. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go into time with anybody, so that's why I like played certain cards that like I gained life and like certain things, so like I could just make sure that I had the advantage in certain aspects.
Right.
If you don't know what he does, like on summon once per turn, I basically gain 500 life points for every card that my opponent has in their hand.
Right.
Right. So what this like allows me to like long story short, what it allows me to do is like say like for instance there's like 2 minutes left. I know that I'm gonna lose game 2. All right, I'll scoop it up. Go game 3. I now have different win cons to be able to win in time.
Great.
Being able to not only draw into the Advent, but if I draw Robina or any access to Robina, I can get to Robina and get to this. I can use Robina. I can use Eglin to get to Empin, or I can use Advent. So any one of the 3 are gonna make me gain life because I can get to the Advent through Empin. If I draw the Advent, I'm fine already. If I have Robina, I can get to this.
Yeah.
And if I have Eglin, like I get to Empin.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so many different cards and like the other cards that help you get to all of those names, like the map, the continuous, Advent, like
everything, right?
The cards, right? So it's like there's so many different things and ways that you can actually win in time with the birds. Now that I'm realizing putting in these spices, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, like I just did not want to come into a scenario or run into one that I would lose in time.
Makes sense, for sure. All right, Benny. Thank you so much for this amazing deck profile. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Guys, I want to give a huge shout out to Benny and to Go for Games. Shout outs to my boy Taylor over there as well. Guys, come check us out on Dundas and Spadina. We have, Benny, you want to explain about the tournaments and stuff and the times?
All right, so for the tournament days, we have Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Mondays are free entry. It starts at 6 p.m. We have Thursdays at 6 p.m. as well. It's $5 entry. And then we have Saturdays is 3 p.m. is $10 entry because we usually have our box tourneys that day.
For sure.
And we're starting to also implement a Sunday locals. It's I think it's gonna start off at $5. It's gonna be 2012 format. So 2012 September format, like when I believe Daniel Rabbit was at 2. So we're trying to like find like different ways to make like Yu-Gi-Oh players want to like play the game, not necessarily like I guess this current format because like it's, as you can see, like has a little bit more toxicity than the usual, having like these tier 0 like strategies running around.
Yeah.
And just like being able to kind of like have fun with the game, like with the 2012
sure.
format, just having so many different viable decks.
For sure. Benny, thank you so much again. Guys, I want to give a big, huge shout out to Go for Games for always helping out everybody, treating everybody with a lot of like kindness and just treating everybody with respect. So a huge respects to them. I want to give a huge shout out, of course, to my team, Team Eldritch Gaming. And a massive shout out, of course, to Team Cardboard Cravings and to the best team in the game, Team Game Nation. And of course, a big congratulations goes to Ryan Yu for coming 3rd place. And with all that being said, guys, this is your boy Matan from Team Eldritch Gaming signing off. Peace.
Peace.